Google Stadia thing. I didn't get to talk about it this week. So this Google Stadia thing, obviously, you guys have probably heard about it, but if you haven't, people are saying it's Google's gaming console that they're going to come out with this year. That caught me off guard initially because it's not a console whatsoever. And I'll give you some background, then I'm going to put on a clip here. But what it is, it's more of like a platform. It's more of like Steam with a Steam controller with some PlayStation Network aspects to it. And so I'll just air a quick clip. It looks kind of cool. I'll air one of the more cool aspects actually, and then I'll get into it here. Is this, you can pause the game, like you can play a game on a laptop and on a phone and on a tablet and on a TV and on a desktop, whatever you want to, and it'll just continue the game from where you left off. There's some downsides to that, but anyways, here's a quick clip. Oh,
directly from our data center. It's then easy.
So it's playing from the data center
to move that same game experience from exactly that moment onto the phone here on a Pixel 3
Pretty cool.
XL.
So you can play it on different platforms.
Such, we're also enabling players to use your existing USB controller or mouse and keyboard when playing Stadia on a laptop.
That's okay. That's kind of standard in a lot of games, though.
But of course, we will have our own controller.
All right. So anyways, that's just a quick thing. They play some Assassin's Creed here. I think they played it at the beginning here. Here's one more clip of it.
The latest Assassin's Creed Odyssey trailer on Ubisoft's official channel on YouTube. You will notice the Play Now button. By simply clicking on that button, the player is brought directly into the game in a browser in as quick as 5 seconds.
Okay, it's not going to take 5 seconds.
You just need to click on a YouTube video or link.
And what they also said here, I'm going to stop this here. So it's kind of cool. I like some of the aspects of this, but they said that you can just pretty much start a game from where you're... if you're watching someone on YouTube play video games, what they were kind of saying there was that you can jump right into the game from right where they are, and that's not going to be possible for a lot of games. But anyways, the whole thing, I'm going to talk about the pros and cons now. But it looks kind of cool. They were playing Assassin's Creed. It was running pretty well. Let's just jump into this here. So here's some details. It's going to come out in 2019. It's a cloud gaming service. Okay, so it's not a console. What's going to happen is that it's going to be, more like Steam with a Steam controller with some PlayStation aspects to it. But one of the big things here is that your console, what people don't understand is that instead of having a console in your house, they're going to have their version of a console. So a console, by the way, is just a computer. So a gaming console, people don't really realize this. It's just a computer. That's all it is. It's a computer that plays a game and plays that game really well compared to a normal computer. That's all gaming consoles are. And what they do is they just have your console will be in their data center. And I'm guessing what's going to happen is you're going to have to buy this controller that's going to be, I'm guessing, $200, and then you're going to have a recurring monthly membership as well. I'm guessing about 20 to 30 bucks. It might be more when you start out. Yeah, so here's, I have a few problems with this actually. So the very first problem I found with this, oh yeah, and by the way, one more thing I should explain. It's going to be like a Steam library. So you're going to have to download the Stadia app onto a computer or phone or tablet or whatever, a Google, maybe some Chromecast tie-in or something like that. And you get to pick games from there. So it's going to just be like a Steam library. Nothing too innovative there. But here's the thing, is that there's a few bumps in the road that I foresee happening here, and this is going to be a major prediction. And you guys should tell me if I'm right or wrong about this. So leave a comment down below. So one of the first things is that it's going to require an internet connection to do anything. All right. So nowadays that's not as terrible, but here's the thing, is that some of us, like myself in this room, have really terrible internet. Really terrible internet. And I like to play games up here. And a lot of the times I just lag out. And if you lag out now, if you get disconnected or have a slow Wi-Fi, you can't even play a local game. You can't play it because you need to connect to the Google data center. So maybe I should do this on the whiteboard here, actually. Yeah, you know what? Do I have a marker here, actually? Just give me about half a second here to find a marker. Okay. All right. So here we go. We're going to do this on the whiteboard here. So here's what it's like. So here's what a normal gaming, when you want to play online, with people, actually, here's what happens, is that you have your console, So you have your console, it's connected to the internet. So your console is connected to the internet, and what happens is that when you do some sort of input, it goes directly to the game server, and then that goes directly to other players. So there's 3 steps in there, and there's not going to be a ton of lag for the most part. But here's how Google's going to be doing it, and this is going to be a big challenge for them, is that what's going to happen is that they're giving the game to you. So data center, they're going from the data center to you, to Google, to the servers, back again, to Google, to the game, and then to players. Sorry, it's going to be a little bit messy. But there's going to be 2 extra steps in there which are going to be causing a lot of problems for gamers. And I foresee that happening when you want to play online. So one of the qualms I have with this is that I already have bad internet connection and I get lag, and it's almost unplayable for the most part if I want to play any sort of video game here. Even in this house for the most part, and I have high-speed internet, we're in a good area, but the Wi-Fi just sucks sometimes when you're in a certain housing, apartment, whatever. And so now I think that lag, Google's like, oh, we're going to fix this. Google's saying, oh, we're going to fix this. It's not going to be much of a problem. It's going to be a problem. I can already tell day one, if you want to play any sort of massive multiplayer game and everyone is using Stadia, going to be tons of lag problems. That's what's going to happen. Google's an amazing data company. They'll probably figure it out in the long term, by the way. So here's the thing. I'm talking about this. That's going to be a problem for the first year to 2 years. I mean, I remember playing PlayStation online back in the day, and that was terrible. I remember just playing Battlefront 2 on PlayStation 2, and it would just lag out all the time. Like every game, you would lag out and you'd get disconnected, or you would lag out and you'd get a hero. You'd be like Yoda, you'd be killing everyone. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, none of those kills counted because the game froze and you disconnected. Your lag was too bad. So I foresee that being a problem. Yeah, I really don't like being connected to the internet to play locally. I really don't like that. So it's more of a streaming gaming service, which, again, I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a big fan of gaming streaming. I like to have the physical game in my hand. Now, I know I'm a little bit of a dinosaur like that. I'm getting a little bit of to become a little bit of an old person here. But yeah, so I like to have a local copy. It's going to require some major data center upgrades, by the way. So we're going to talk about some of the business aspects and what this means for Google's finances. But they're going to have to upgrade their data centers a ton, because right now their data centers are suitable for really 2 things: for doing YouTube videos, which requires a lot of data, a lot of high-powered computers, and it's good for storing database information, so like SQL, but that doesn't take up too much. So that's what their data centers are suitable for. But now you have to process video games and do 4 to 8K streaming in those video games. That requires a whole different level of computer. And even they said in this reveal of the Stadia thing is that they're going to have to upgrade their data centers. They're partnering with AMD, and they said they're going to have the most powerful graphical processing units of any other gaming console, but it's not a console, so any other gaming platform in the industry. I don't know if there's truth to that or what, but they're going to have to. I don't know. Anyways, so a few more things I want to talk about here, but there are some pros to this. It's going to be a cheaper entryway for people. So instead of having to buy a $400 new console, like the next PlayStation or next Xbox is going to be $400, $500, this one's going to probably be about $200 is my guess. Maybe it'll be a little bit cheaper, maybe a little bit more expensive. I don't foresee them selling a controller, which is what they're selling you for $400. And you won't even need to buy the controller, I don't think. I think you can actually just buy the membership, which is going to be $20 to $30 a month. And yeah, so another cool thing I actually found too, it was kind of cool, was that fans can now jump in queue with people they are watching on YouTube, which I like that. So I like to play NBA 2K19 sometimes, and now all of a sudden fans can kind of just jump in and play with me. So that's I mean, I'm not going to play games on the channel or anything, but that's kind of cool if you're watching Ninja and then you get to play. That's Twitch, though. If he does it on YouTube or someone else plays on YouTube Markiplier or streams on, you can all of a sudden jump in with them. That's kind of cool, even though YouTube bans you for playing games a lot of times. Yeah, so jump in and play. That's a cool feature. If you're watching a trailer for a video game, you can literally just hit play and then it'll take you through to an ordering page and then you're playing it after you download the game, which will take 5 hours. So the jump in and play thing's not going to be, it's going to be cool, but it won't be as great as they say. You can play, again, you can play it on multiple platforms. They're saying, now here's the thing. They're saying they can do this on 8K, with 8K games at 60 frames per second. There's no way. There is no way that they're going to do that. The technical requirements to do an 8K video game at 60 frames per second, especially if it's multiplayer, we're years away from that. We might even be a full decade away from 8K 60 frames per second multiplayer games. So they said that they're going to be able to do that in the next year. Good luck. Good freaking luck with that. I'm not betting on that. Yeah, so those are the pros. So here's my thoughts on this as a business and just an overall conclusion. So it's always good to have another company in a space. So now we have Nintendo, we have Xbox, PlayStation, and then you have the other gaming platforms. You have like what the Wizards of the Coast has their platform, Riot has their platform, kind of. And so we're just adding another platform to this, and I like it. What's the one with the Sims? They have their own platform. It's massive. I think they're owned by Microsoft, right? Oh my God, what's that game called? What's this? It's the orange thing. I've seen it. Anyways, it's just another platform. So I'm really kind of hoping that Google gets into the game publishing business. Apparently, they partnered with some of the biggest some of the biggest gaming engine companies in the world with Unreal Engine and Unity. So I'm more excited for the games that they can make because Google has a lot of tech people. They might be making some pretty cool games in the future. Some original games, I would guess in 2 to 3 years. Maybe, and they'll usually have one game that they make on their own when they launch. So I'm excited for that part more than anything. As a business, I don't know. It's nothing special. I mean, the only difference is that it's Google doing it, and so they can integrate it with their other platforms. But this, from my perspective, isn't too different from like a stream from like Steam with a controller, or like PlayStation has theirs and it's similar, except the only difference is that you have a console. You have your own console. That's the only difference. But Steam, for example, I mean, Steam is pretty much is Stadia, except just without YouTube, really. That's all it is. So I'm going to probably try Stadia eventually, but from an innovation perspective, a lot of people are saying that this is a game changer. I don't know. I just foresee this as another big tech company probably going to have a successful subsidiary to it. So Microsoft launched Xbox. That it's going to be probably as big as Xbox. Yeah, maybe. That's my guess, and it's not going to wipe out all the other consoles. I don't know, my opinion. It's not going to do that, but it'll be another big player. It'll take away some market share for sure. From a business perspective, short term this could be terrible, but long term this could be one of the best things that Google does. Not one of the best, but it would play part for sure. Because if you get 1 million players again, paying $30 a month or something like that, probably 10 million. It's Google, so it's going to be worldwide, actually. What am I saying? It's going to be tens of millions of players paying $30 a month, somewhere around there. It's going to be $300 million a month. I foresee this in the future if they do this properly. And so that's going to be an extra couple $1 billion. Now, saying that, Google, that's going to be like pennies for Google. Their revenue is, $100 billion a year. So adding another 1% onto that. But I think that this is just another part of here's interesting, is what Bill Gates wanted to do with Xbox was that he made Xbox not because he loved video games or the industry. He wanted to have a home entertainment system. And the Xbox was not supposed to be primarily a gaming system. When it launched, it was actually supposed to be primarily in another internet home entertainment system. So now, the Xbox One really only had games. But it slowly evolved into an entertainment system that had Netflix on it and YouTube, and you can do your emails and stuff on there, that has its own browser on there. And that's what Bill Gates intended, and I think Google's going to be doing something similar to that with Stadia, just their kind of own version of adding on to the home entertainment system.